Live. Yeah, I'm a little bit early, but the team will be here. Y'all can check back how you like that blue highlight. It's dope, right? I thought it was dope too. So I went and bought it. So another infamous foreign sound, ask us question meeting. Just trying to get you guys more involved with us and follow us and ask us questions why we're actually doing what we're trying to do and be the group that we are. So the more followers, the better. Just wait for everybody to get here. Get a link for everybody. We in the business of tweeting and all that. Wrong box. I really didn't want to stream that, but it's all good. And I really didn't do that good. Bam. Nobody joined us yet. Where's my group? Where's my group? Wow, some nice commands. Maybe I should share the link with the guys. He just might not have it. I would play y'all some beats that I've made, but I ain't got my system booted up. The Sippies in the house.
What's up? What's up? What's up?
How you doing, homie?
Trying to get squared away, man. I'm on the phone.
Word. Slow start. Slow start.
Just shared it. Yeah. Shit, I'm here by myself right now. Shit. Where Meek 48 at?
Probably out in the garden.
I caught that boy K-Sound on here earlier. I ain't get to join the scope, but I caught him on.
Yeah. I hollered at him right afterwards. We're live to the world right now, too.
You said we live?
Yeah.
Word.
We live on Blab and we live on YouTube.
I saw it on YouTube. I just saw the link on YouTube. I hit the YouTube link.
Yeah.
It looks great. I didn't know what else was available on there.
I just screen sharing the app on YouTube, so we're gonna get 2 recordings either way. Just more ways to engage the fans.
Let's see. Okay, here we go. Can I switch up? Oh, shit.
Microphone feedback. Microphone feedback. Microphone feedback.
Word. Yeah, I got that fucking
That sound like that microphone checker.
Word. Oh, I see K-Lib. All right, let's see. I wonder, can I close this down from the computer? Yo, I joined the conversation, right?
Mm-hmm.
On the phone. I'm looking at it on the computer. I'm about to hit the X and see if it's gonna let me close it or whatever. See what happens.
Mm-hmm. No mic. Yeah, you gotta turn your mic up a little.
Mic check. Mic check.
Good, good.
Mic check.
You good. All right.
I'm not weird. Gosh. Oh well, I have to stand up straight. Not working now.
Hey.
Hello, hello.
We are live on Blab and we are live on YouTube.
Oh, nice. That's good.
Yep, you just screen share the app. So, working out good.
All right, so what's up, guys?
What's up? How you doing?
I'm all good. Been busy. Busy. Outside.
You look fresh and also clean.
No. Sorry?
You look fresh and also clean?
Yeah, well, haircut, clean face, you know. No shave, though. I can't be bothered with shaving. It's not for me. Just do the bare minimum that I need to. Saying that, have you cut your hair wax? Sick.
I had my son do it. My little 3-year-old.
Yeah, I can see.
Starting them early.
You need to speak into the mic. We can't hear you.
Oh, is that low? Is that low? I said
Yeah,
I
it's
had my
better. You
son
need to
do it.
speak- Yeah. You need to have the mic right in front of you, otherwise it won't pick it up. There's no range in a dynamic mic.
Okay, all right.
Yeah, it's better when it's like that.
But yeah, so I getting my kids started early, cutting hair, because I
Yeah,
started
good.
when I was like 16, 17. So I figured he got the skill in him, so why not? You know what I'm saying? Just let it.
Yeah.
I mean, like, I don't got no hair to be impressing nobody. He can just cut wherever he want to cut at.
It's not like he can do a bad thing, is it?
Yeah. I mean, as soon as I handed him the clippers, you know where he went to with the clippers, right? He went straight here. I was like, oh, whoa, no, not there.
It takes you about a year to grow a beard, I guess.
I still can't grow one.
Yeah. Takes time.
About 2 months ago. Hey, no.
All right, so what?
That's that sound.
No, I'm just messing with my machine here.
What's that foreign sound?
Oh.
Sip, did you ever get that foul loaded?
Anyway, it's that.
That what? No,
I never bothered to.
I tried multiple times. It's been a couple of different.
I even saved a new file of it with the two.
Yeah, I opened it. I clicked it. I opened it. It was the same thing. Like the 808 and the snare didn't come across. It said file not found. And when I went to look for the bounces, there was only one bounce in there. So I loaded that bounce up, and that was the hybrid file.
Right.
When I was just listening to it, I was like, well, maybe I could just throw some kicks and snare, you know.
Maybe I'll make another version and just export the stems in the folders as well.
Well, I'm just logging into the server, so I'm going to download that file and see if it opens on here. So I haven't had a chance today to do it. So let me see. So these are the issues that we have working long distance. Let me see.
Trying to get into that Sour Patch.
Oh, we can hear it. I thought it was Dorito.
No, that's a Sour Patch.
That package.
All right, two the same. So wait on. A second. So, all right, download that. And did you just overwrite the file that I uploaded, Wax?
Yeah.
Right, okay. It's just so I know to download it, that's all.
Yeah.
Right, okay.
I didn't even name it different or nothing.
No,
We can
no,
deal with
no,
all that
no,
when it's
yeah,
time.
no. Right. Yeah, it's just so I know what I'm downloading. Right, okay. Let me check out. Okay. Oh, come on, man.
Right. Oh, nice.
Right, okay. It's clear all.
That sound, I know that sound.
Yeah, that's on desktop sound. Right. Gosh.
I think it's pretty cool how Mac has its own sound.
Yeah, all design from the beginning. Yeah, it's totally important. Part of the brand. So people know, know the sound and know instinctively, like Windows did. You know the sound when a Mac opens up.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, that Windows sound. I'm very familiar with that thing. That thing, you can't lose that sound. You go to
Brace yourself, Meek, when you play that.
All right, I'm gonna put it low anyway.
Brace yourself. Hold your seat. I know you want a stool, but you're gonna wish you had a seat because you're probably gonna fall off it.
All right. Well, let's have a look. All right. It says that some files are missing on here.
That's the message I got.
Right. Okay.
The whole kit?
Yeah, it's the kit, but that'll be.
You should have it.
Yeah, it just has to find it.
That's crazy because I exported the stems right out of the machine.
You didn't get any other error message? Did you get a message about session horn?
No. That's the only thing I missed. It just needs to locate the stuff. Not an issue.
Right.
I just have to find it on my disk.
It said that I didn't have session horns installed on my Mac.
Don't you have it?
Session horn installed. Yes, I do. I have it, and but it said I didn't. That's what I was saying. Which
have you updated?
Recently?
Yeah.
I updated Studio One. The other day there was an update.
You should go start the NI server. Make sure you're logged into my name and update.
Careful, guy. Yeah.
Update because you're gonna need to. If you fall behind in updates, you will your software won't work. Especially the files that we share.
Okay, well, shit. I updated the Mac. I didn't know if the update came out.
Yeah, they always update that. New contents too. They love to give us free stuff. NI.
No.
Like within a year,
Just.
if you bought the complete ultimate package within a year, you would get your money back with the amount of stuff they give you every holiday.
Yeah, that's dope.
Right. One of these two folders. Now, which one it is, I don't know. Oh man, why does it do that?
Again, maybe should I put the whole folder there?
Right, it's either no. I found it here, but I've got two folders, you see. So, all right, now I'm matching files, so it's not in that one.
We are still perfecting how we create and share our music with each other.
All right. Oh no, it says a fold missing. What?
Just when you think you got it down, they go and make an update and everything changes.
Yeah. Well, the thing is, what we're trying to do is trying to locate some files that are. Just a minute. It's going to be in a specific kit, isn't it? Is it an analog kit?
The beatbox kit?
Yeah.
I just went to kits and put in beatbox and it came up.
Oh, wait on. Yeah, I've got to locate it now with my.
It's Jeremy Ellis beatbox kit.
Yeah, but it's not so straightforward the way they're. Yeah, wait on a sec.
Well, let me give you all some high fives.
Well, right.
thing called Auto Clicker or something like that. And like say for instance, I don't know who it was I saw do it, but I was on Blast one day and he just basically he clicked one time or some shit and it just kept giving high fives.
I can't hear a word Sip's saying.
Am I talking that low? I don't got my
yeah, it's
I'm trying to test out where the input volume should be at. The knob that you turned up. I've been
no, you've got to
it
speak
out.
directly into your mic.
That's the problem. Okay. So let's see. This is better though? Like right here? This is better?
It's better when you're in front of it.
So the mic is right here. It's in my mouth, man.
Yeah, it's fine. It's fine there. It's fine there.
I just got it off camera. To the side.
That's what happens when you got a dynamic.
Word. I got both. I'm just scared to use the other one for random shit, you know? Don't want to fuck off just messing with it.
I like my Mac
Find
mic.
it.
No fuss, no muss.
Oh, shit.
No, your what?
My Mac mic.
Oh, damn, yeah.
Work
Shit,
like a
could
charm.
be anything. Oh, cool. No, it's not quite as shit. Let me see. Let's find it through here. Wait, let me go back. Let me try. No, there. No, it's not finding it there. Got machine in.
The sun was shining so nice today.
Word.
It comes up with it. Why isn't it there? I cannot locate where that is hidden it on my thing. Right, let me quit out of Studio One. It works anyway. The file works. All I have to do is just locate the song where it is. So, oh man, but it's.
It didn't
I
go
hate
to
it
your
when it does
download
that.
folders?
No, I don't need to do that because we've all got the same software and we're all running. It should just locate where where it is, but obviously because it's coming from Waxter's machine, his route to where his folder is not in the same place where mine is. Plus, it's on a different drive,
That's
so
why
I have to locate that for the file then to go. Oh, that's where that file is.
I get it.
So
that's why you gotta bounce it out.
you get. I know. Right. So let me see where.
But when I clicked your file, it loaded up no problem.
But you have to locate it.
I didn't have to locate anything.
I think your
Yeah,
shit
well,
must
I'm
be
just
more
gonna check
advanced
out.
then. You got a better fucking computer.
Yeah, I've got it here. No. I've got the kit here. It's definitely here. It's in the library, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because let's see. So it's the right thing. So let me quit out of that. It's definitely there. Let me.
I can get you the MIDI file. Actually,
No. I've got
yeah,
the MIDI
that's
file.
it.
I've got the file here.
Oh, you got it.
Let me put this here. All right, just let me dump this stuff into a folder, because what it does is, the thing I don't like about Studio One is if you put a file on your desktop and you open it, it opens up all the subfolders underneath, you know, like cache, etc., etc.
Mm-hmm.
So you end up with a load of crap on your desktop. So you've got to put it inside an actual folder itself.
Yeah.
So it doesn't do that. So that's what I'm doing now.
I basically
these files are
copied that
missing.
folder that it creates and sent it over into the groups, and it still didn't work for SIP.
No, I'll find it. It's just a question of searching in the right folder. That's all it is. So just a second. It's definitely in library. No, it says. It's going to be silly, isn't it? Nah. Wait on. Didn't find it.
I got some of it, like the file opened up. You know what I'm saying? It just didn't find all the files. I got the hybrid file, which was like the melody. Then I had the session horn shit, which I just attached to like a I don't know, like a saxophone or some shit in Session Horns Pro. And that's what I was saying, yo, which Session Horns instrument did you use that time? That's why I was just gonna find the instrument and attach it, and I could have figured out what the drums were.
It should give you all that in the MIDI though.
No, you don't need to, because I've got all the MIDI here.
That's what I'm saying. I didn't have any MIDI. I didn't have MIDI in 808 and snare. I didn't have any MIDI wrote there. It just said file not found. But the other things did have MIDI. The hybrid had MIDI, and the Session Horns had MIDI.
That was the only stuff that had MIDI.
So then the top, the 808 in the snare.
The 808s were because that's from MPC, right? So it's all snare. It's all samples, kicks, the snares, the hats. And then the only two things that were melodies were the horns and the hybrid.
All right.
But then I had to put that into wave file as well because y'all ain't got the hybrid.
No, I need the MIDI files because all I've got is a WAV file and it can't find the WAV file. That's why, because otherwise it would launch it directly from machine because it would look for the machine kit. But because you've bounced it down, it's not finding the WAV file. Does that make sense? Whack up the MIDI file and it'll work fine for me because that's all I did was just put the MIDI file. So just re-upload it with the MIDI file. Don't bounce it down because what I've got here are wave tracks.
So what I'll do is load it back up and I'll just export the MIDI file and I'll leave it in the group folders.
Just export it as the instrument because on my stuff, all the instruments are there. So it opens up without a problem.
Cool. I'll do that.
So stack that, do that, and then I'll download it, which means the other one will be the same as well. So just upload them both as the MIDI things as instruments. Don't bounce anything down and they'll be there. So there you go, guys. That's what happens when you're working long distance. Because what we do, we're predominantly working in with Studio 3, and we use Machine and we use Contact and stuff. So when we're actually working with our files, we create our tunes, whatever it is. Predominantly it's MIDI. If we use any samples, what we will do is we'll put those export those samples into a folder, and then package everything up together, upload it to a central server, and then each one of us has access to that folder. So when we download it, all the files, all the samples are all together. So each one of us, because we're using the same software, can just open it up, and the package will open up automatically. Now, in this particular case, we bounced down some files with on a pretense that because the others don't have the certain plugins, that then the MIDI file, the WAV file would be there. But in our case, or in mine and Wax's case, because he's working on a song that I started off, or beat that I started off, he bounced down the files, but they are machine files, so it's looking for specific machine files. But because the actual software inside, the file itself is saying that it's a WAV file, but given the correct name for the machine file, it's trying to find that WAV file within machine. Now, obviously, machine or Native Instruments has a specific encapsulation for their sounds, so then you just can't copy all their sounds onto another sampler or onto another machine without having the proper software, which is Native Instruments' own software, to be able to operate it. So that way the combat, is all anti-piracy stuff. So in this case, Wax has to bounce down just the file with the instrument with no samples, nothing bounced down. And then when it comes to me, I'll just be able to click it and it'll open it because it'll search for the right name in the right format in the machine folder, wherever I tell it to go. And voila, the sounds and everything will be there.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what we've got to do. And that's one of the things about working distance. Sometimes it's, one forgets to do something or misses something. But that's like 2 seconds work that we just reset
drag
it,
and drop.
upload it, and there we go.
Drag and
And
drop.
that's how it works for us.
There's definitely a common thing. I know a lot of people that do mixing people when they do a mixing, they have a text document and say you do it this way, da 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 da.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
And then sometimes when you bounce it out, they'll get missing files or whatever, and then you have to go back and say, "Hey, man, can you bounce this out and send it to me?" And then the last thing.
Yeah, but the way that we do it though, when we just bounce down for the final mix, it just everything goes into a folder, and then you don't have any files missing. So the way that we work is, whenever we work on a beat, we'll come up with, we'll all go away, we'll come together, and we'll play the beats that we've created. And when we create beats, what we'll normally do is we'll do a whole mix down of the file before that gets uploaded to the server. So we'll do a full mix down, goes up to the server. We all then listen back to the beats and we discuss it. And we decide what are strong beats, what are weak beats, what beats we're going to work on next. And that's how we do it. And once that's done, then it's at that point that we upload the files themselves, rather opposed to just a full mix down. So with a full mix down, we can hear it and we can see what's good, what's bad. Otherwise, you end up with hundreds of folders going up and down servers, and that's how you lose things. So yeah, that's our workflow, and it's working good.
We're perfecting it.
Yeah, it takes time, but it's getting there. But it's all working good. So, any other things? Machine. Let me talk about Machine, because I know it's a big thing. Yeah, I tend to use it. I still haven't got used to it. It's dead easy. It's just because I come from a proper, a DAW background. I started off in Logic and worked many years in Logic. And to come away to something like Machine, we were talking about last time within the part 4 of the drum machine things from 1949 to the present. So if you guys haven't caught that part 4 over on YouTube, go across and watch it. Or you can watch the whole series so far. We discussed about Machine, about having the processing power outside of your own computer to be able to process audio. Now, for me, it's kind of strange because with the DAW, I had complete freedom to chop, change, do everything. And I got to a point where I could work very quickly within Logic or Pro Tools or any of the other standard DAWs. But with Machine, it's like a DAW from a DAW. Does that make sense? A workstation within a workstation. So if I was to import Machine into Studio One or into Logic, you import it as a VST. But it's weird for me to work on Machine outside and then drag it in to edit it. And it's just, I find it strange. It's weird. It just seems like kind of backwards to me. Sort of sequence something in Machine and then take it in and just either copy files across, and it gets complicated. So I haven't quite got used to that. But I'm digging what I'm hearing with it.
It's kind of cheating.
Yeah,
I find it is cheating.
It's like a Blacker's Guide to how to make music. For me, it's like
it's
half
Machine?
in, half out.
The big thing being with Machine was because Machine was actually built for hip hop. It wasn't built just
totally
it was
agree.
built for hip hop, and that way, the reason why it's set up like that is because a lot of hip hop producers and such deal with sampling music, and it's the background of that is sampling music, so it's set up.
Yeah,
so if you're sampling, you'll flow right through a beat. You know what I'm saying?
I totally relate to that. Yeah.
And then when they send those kits
I completely relate to that.
Yeah, those kits they send out kits now, and it's like every element of the beat is right there already in the kit. It's like a kick, a snare, hi-hat, every element.
Yeah.
Ambience, the bass.
Yeah, totally.
Manipulate that.
I find what I find the sounds and everything. I love it, but I find to try and sequence a beat can be kind of tricky. For example, when but you know, when you're in a DAW and you create, say, a 2-bar loop with a bass or something like that, and you think, oh, that's great. Okay, I don't want it now. I'll just drag it over here and stick it starting from bar 3 or half the way through bar 3. On Machine, I find that you can only write in, you know, sections of bars. So if I've got a 2-bar loop, I can't create a 1-bar and then start it
on the second
bar, if that makes sense.
Right.
So you've got like a space before that, but you can do that in the DAW. So for me, that's just like, man, why am I going to try to figure that out when I can already do it?
And that's a good thing to keep mentioning that, because they need to hear that, and maybe they can fix that, because I think that's one of those small things that they may have overlooked, and nobody really caught on to it.
Yeah, but I can't believe that, because, I mean, how I get around it is I just then open it up in Studio One, open it up as the VST, and I just drag the MIDI files across, you know, into it. And Studio One will just lay out the MIDI files, and you just tell it that you want it to play out of Machine, and Machine will do it that way. Then you can go in and sequence it and do what you want.
Right.
It's just a way of working, but then the whole principle of Machine is taken away, which is the idea is that you sequence it and you do it all outside of your studio, outside of your DAW, and then when you drag it in, you're just finalizing mixing it. But the way that I'm doing it is I'm using all the samples from Machine, but then arranging it in the studio, and it just seems like everything about Machine then just becomes irrelevant, really. The good thing about it is, you know, you've got the pads, but to be honest, I already use my MPC 2000 XL all the way from back, you know, 2000 or 98 when it first came out, all the way back then. Basic Machine, I just plug it in into an audio interface or into the back of my Focusrite here, and I can set Impact inside of Studio One to play with the pads. So I can use it as a controller from that way, which then sort of thinks, well, why do I need Machine to do stuff? So just the fact by that cut and paste thing, I haven't worked it out, and I cannot believe that they would have ignored such a simple, basic thing like that. That it sort of seems kind of
another way that I go about doing that, and because like you said, like you have that problem. So if I open up the DAW, starts off as a 1-bar pattern, I switch it to 2 bars. And the only other way that I know about going about fixing that issue is not playing on the first couple of ticks.
Yeah, just leaving blank space. Yeah.
On the second bar, which that's kind of a, kind of a headache, but I've been working with Machine for a couple of years now, so I got used to that kind of.
Well, I suppose, and I don't think it's an error from them. I guess it's just a way of how we're working it, and I can see how leaving that blank space would work. Because, for example, if you're sampling or you've got a 2-bar bass loop and you only want to play, say, some kind of special over the last bar, so from end of bar 1 to the end of bar 2, the fact that your main riff or motif on the bass lasts 2 bars, then everything below that should also last 2 bars, whether there's silence or no silence. So then that way you're just taking that whole phrase, because the way that I see that Machine is used is that you're, as you've mentioned, because it's created for hip hop, a lot of it is looped bass. So you're just taking, that motif is looped for that amount of time. Anything that comes in that stays in that. Then I can just drag that whole pattern, which might be 6 or 7 tracks long, but all those tracks will be 2 bars long. You just copy that, and then you can just plonk it along. So at least that way you have a nice arrangement. If I look in the project files of Machine, and I click on any, I don't know, Breeze here, click on this, let me discard that. If I click on this one, it opens up. Yeah, everything's like nice and neat. So you've got no spaces missing, except the only spaces that are missing are duplicates of that 1-bar loop or that 2-bar loop. But there's no blank spaces in between that falls longer. And even looking at one of these sections that they're nicely named, like they've got intro part 1, break part 2, part 1, and what's that? Reso chord. There's only 2 bars missing, which obviously was a 2-bar loop that they've just deleted off that. So that makes sense, and it looks a lot tidier that way than it does. If you open that up in your DAW, you'd have loads of little boxes everywhere, and it wouldn't necessarily be all aligned. So I guess they've done it that way just to make it easier. So it's, yeah, I think it's just a way of thinking, guys. I think I have to come round
The
to it.
sequencer for Machine is totally different than anything you'll come across. I will admit that. Like,
Yeah,
when I first started with Machine and I had to learn that sequencer, I was like, what the hell?
Yeah.
You know, I couldn't understand it. But then when I caught it and I figured it out, I was like, oh, okay. Then I was able to go on and make beats.
Right.
yeah, but it's straightforward. Yeah, it's just my way of thinking. I just have to change the way that
Yeah,
I think about
definitely.
things. And,
You gotta
and just think about it as one loop. And I'm thinking about loops rather opposed to notes, because I still think in notes, because coming from a compositional background, where you're writing music, you don't think of necessarily a loop, you think of a motif or something. So within that, you can add notes. And from a DAW, I can just drop a little box or a couple of little boxes, which will probably be different notes or different sounds, and I can just pepper my arrangement that way. But here you can't. You just take one block and you have to write a whole block, leave space wherever those sounds are not happening, and have that as one line on a track. And that way then you can use it. So yeah, I can relate to that.
Do you think they did that because they labeled it a groove production box? Like it's
Yeah, totally. I think so, because it's all loop based.
right. So like I can produce
You're
a groove
looping
outside of the DAW and then take that groove inside of a DAW and build upon that groove.
That little
Yeah, I guess
area,
it is.
the arranger,
Uh-huh.
and then we got the programmer down there, is what they call it. And that's where we can program loops for the arranger.
Is your MIDI bit. Yeah.
And then you go and arrange your loops in the arranger.
That's right.
And you do it by groups and
that's
patterns.
exactly it.
You can make up to unlimited patterns and unlimited groups. So how much song do you need?
No, exactly. Yeah.
What it does though
It's
is
just
it
the way of
is
working,
for
totally.
like if you
Yeah, I
think
can see
about
that.
Machine, if you think about Machine in the DJ world now, a DJ can go and take like 3-4 songs, break them down into patterns or little parts, and play it off of one program. You know, I'm gonna do this set. I got a whole set here. I can chop it. I can blend it together. You know, it's something totally different. But I've seen it done.
Yeah, I can live with that. I get what you mean. Yeah. I mean, what I do enjoy about Machine as well is when you shift it onto pad mode, the samples that they've got are so well done that you get quite a good true octave representation. It doesn't feel stretched. It doesn't feel all fucked up. Like if you were to do it in the early MPCs, you trying to put something to what they call pad mode on Machine, you would notice it goes out of tune. But with this, it's pretty good. It's pretty accurate. It doesn't feel like it's off. No, it's good.
Something weird about that because I know like if you pull a sample in, if you get a sample of an instrument and you do that, it will do what you was just saying about the instrument.
Yeah.
It will resolution, I guess it is.
He's talking about their padded instruments though.
The ones that they
Yeah,
come
I
with.
said.
And the padded instruments, they
no.
basically go and record an instrument on every octave and put it on every pad. So
That's right.
the producer who
People have
recorded
to do
these
that, yeah.
instruments, good job. Like that's one thing I've always said about them.
That's what you was telling me that one time, Wax. I could do that in Contact, right? That's
Yeah.
about Contact, right?
Yep. You'll find some instrument packs that you'll find
Nice sounding.
they'll have a key of every key, a sound of every key, an octave, and you can just take them all and drop them in.
Yeah, that makes perfect sense. You know, whenever I create kits and stuff, you know, if I want expecting it to be a pitched instrument, then I will record it every tone.
Mm-hmm.
So it'll be like record the note, miss a note, record a note, miss a note, and all the way up to the next octave or 2 octaves. So then that way, when you do shift it to pad mode, it's correct. You know, it doesn't go out of tune. So yeah, it makes perfect sense that. But if you're just putting a sample into MPC, if it's not well recorded and it's not right over a period, it does drift. And that's typical. It's what used to happen with the old analog synthesizers. The oscillators would drift over, you know, what you would set up a sound that sounded good on middle C, and you think, yeah, it's great. And then you go two octaves above, and you press it then it's not quite middle C. It's probably a little bit flat or a little bit sharp and just doesn't sound nice. And that's why the digital oscillators came out to rectify that. So it would automatically do that tone and it would remain in tune. So yeah, I totally get that.
Yeah, the MPC too, on some of their samples, they if you put them in pad mode, it just pitches them up and down, don't sound right at all.
Yeah.
But some of their instrument pads sound all right. I don't really get into that instrument pad thing because to me, I try to stay away from making music out of samples. Like, I don't mind using a kick sample, a snare sample, a hi-hat sample, because, you know, those are instruments that you're not going to really be able to get. But after that, I want to get into my virtual instruments, you know?
Yeah. Yeah, but yeah, because I can spend hours in machine just looking for inspiration. Definitely, it's a great tool to have in the studio.
It would take you 2 minutes. It would take you 2 minutes to get inspired.
It does. This is my thing. Like when you have those sounds, I know you said this a bunch of times, Meek. When you have that many sounds at your grasp, it's like, man, like you get a good horn and then you get a good string and you get so many different types of good melodies. Like I found myself in the middle of making a beat and I would find a sound that I really love. I would have another beat going.
Yeah, absolutely. Do you know what gets me as well is when you've got a kit, but then you're not just using one kit, using 3 or 4 kits, and you're going, man, those sounds are great. And then you're having to go chase all those sounds to remake a different kit with those great sounds in. That can be a bit frustrating, but sometimes I say lots of sounds is great for inspiration, but sometimes to have too many sounds, it ends up being the opposite effect, and you end up just being overwhelmed with it. And loads of inspirations, but so much inspiration that you're looking at a blank canvas then, and you don't quite know where to start.
Right. And I got a good tip.
You end up with about 5 or 6 different beats on the go. You know,
I got a good tip. I got a good tip for you two, and a good tip for everybody else out there in the world who uses Machine or any NI product. They got this little star in their Finder window.
Yeah.
If you click that little star, it's a favorite. So when you are starting to look for sounds or you want to go back and find sounds, if you click that little star, know.
And that's really useful for making kits, definitely. Yeah, because then you can go through it and you just click on that. Yeah, definitely.
Oh yeah.
What I've always done, and y'all probably laugh, but what I've always done after about 6-7 months of messing with Machine, I started to build in my own little group kits or whatever, saving it like Sip Easy Kit 1, Sip Easy Kit 2 out of my favorite sounds I like.
Yeah. That's what a lot of guys do. Yeah, a lot of guys do that, and then they then say, "Oh, this is my kit." Yeah, and if you listen to some of the producers out there going, "No, these are sounds that I've created and I've done. I've used these over the years and da-da-da-da-da-da. Where do you think the sounds come from? A lot of the guys don't necessarily record those sounds from scratch. They'll take something like Machine or something like Contact, tweak it a little bit and say, that's my sound. And then, you know, get a few of them and make up their own kit. And then output that. You know, they don't necessarily create from scratch. Unlike mine, the kit that I did, all those are complete from scratch sounds. All created on synths properly, not tweaked from, you know, no oscillators, nothing, and then dialing it in proper sound design. Or banging things and stuff. So there's that line of work as well, which is like Foley work, really. So.
You know how you got instruments, right? I know one of you guys might know.
Yeah.
Under the instruments panel over there on the left, I went to go look at that little star that you was talking about, and I hit the X.
Yeah.
And I closed out all of my sound. My browser, not the type, but I don't see none of the sounds at the bottom. I don't see the kick, the drums. Like I'm looking at the Caribbean current. I don't see none of the sound.
I messed up my machine.
I know that. Oh my God! I just did something. Kick.
Well, it's been used quite well. It's got a nice little home here, waxed.
That's great.
Yeah.
I knew you would find good use for it, my friend.
Yeah.
You're still not used to it yet, I could tell. It's still foreign to you.
Yeah, man, there's loads of this stuff to go through.
Yo, it took me about 3-4 years to actually understand that MK1.
All right, so here's another. Here's the end of that tip that Wax just shared about that favorites thing. If you click that favorites thing and you don't have any favorites, you're gonna get a window with no sounds in them, and you have to re-click that favorites window to get your sounds to show back up. I know that.
There you go.
Because you went to the favorites section.
Yeah,
and then you know the window when you go to like all your sounds, right? When you click your sound to load it, if you hold your mouse beside it and you go to the right of it, it will have a little spot where you could click the star, each individual sound. Yeah. Then it shows up in favorites.
So I'm gonna start doing that.
That's what you do when you want to remember something and check it out later, rather than stop making that beat. Don't ever stop making that beat.
That's what my cousin told me. And I was like, you a rapper. Shut the fuck up.
Oh, man.
You fucking rapper. But then I listened to it, though. I was like, yo, I got fucking 100 beats, babe, and I ain't finished 50 of them.
You feel me? That you see my machine folder, like I got maybe 20 beats finished, close to finish.
Yeah.
And about 200 and some a mess of beats ready to go.
But then I did hear somebody complaining this there's a message going around. They say people are like sampling 4-bar loops from way back in the day, and then they're just reselling a 4-bar loop like this with like an intro and an outro in it or whatever. And people are mad about that. There's a lot of producers doing that right now.
Didn't as far as I recall, Machine Masters did that, didn't they? They brought out a sample pack with uncleared samples.
Yo, they do that every time.
The gospel?
They do that every time.
The gospel thing.
Yeah, it's
so basically what you're paying for them is for them to go dig it. Yeah, and uncleared samples. Well, they're allowed to do that.
But then they got producers.
It's up to the producer.
They got producers that are coming behind them, right? So, for instance, if I go buy the gospel, the Ghetto Gospel Volume, whatever, 1, 2, whatever. If I go buy one of those and I don't have the knowledge, like all of the knowledge that you normally would have as a producer, if I don't have that, and I say, well, I bought this from Machine Masters, these samples have to be cleared, I can just play them out how they are and then make a beat to it. And then I go sell that beat and I got a rapper mad at me or a singer mad at me because of this sample problem. And I'm like, well, I bought these samples, but they wasn't clear.
Yeah, but if you read their README files, that's the first thing I always do. Whenever I download a kit, I always read the README file because that has to say it. And if it doesn't, the people that created the kit are liable for it. And on the Machine Masters one, even on their website, it says that, no, none of these samples are cleared.
You're responsible.
They clearly
for
state
clearing.
what you're paying us for basically is digging, is finding those samples, and we bring you the best samples to capture that gospel groove, and it's up to you to clear it. So if you use it in your works, that's your problem. And they say that, but if people don't read it, well, that's their problem, isn't it? But that's one of the things why I always say, stay away from samples because it's being done to death.
You don't want that problem, man.
So easy. Yeah, it's so easy to get caught out these days. It's not like 10 years ago where you could flip it, reverse it,
well, they got
switch it in and out, put loads of effects.
You damn near can hold your
easy
phone
find
up to a song, and if it's a sample in
Yeah.
there, it'll find it. Your phone will find it. Just the phone alone. You
Yeah,
can
of
put it
course,
up
yeah.
there,
I mean,
look
the
at this
software,
song.
Shazam.
You got
Shazam's
5
a prime
songs
example
pop
of
up,
that.
one song.
Yeah, it just, oh, this is a cool song. What's this? Hold
It's
it
a
up.
digital
What's the name
age,
of the
people.
song?
It's funny as shit, man. Oh my god.
Yeah, but I mean, I was watching the other day, sort of going off on these sample things. I was watching Notorious. It's about a story of B.I.G. and, Puff Daddy or Sean Combs, whatever he wants to be called, P. Diddy, or whatever his name is these days. And I was looking at the final credits of that film just to see, all the music stuff. And even in those credits, they say where the samples came from. Oh, look, this is using a sample from this, a sample from that. So, they give credit to it, and obviously all those samples are all cleared, but it just shows you that, it doesn't matter who it is, you have to get samples cleared,
That's true. A big thing I heard the other day, I was in Ninth Wonder Scope, and he's a big time sample producer. And somebody come in there, oh, you're never gonna get this sample cleared. And he's like, who the fuck are you talking to? I know Beyonce and 3LW, whoever the fuck it was. He was like, I know them personally. He's like, I sample because I really can get these samples cleared, and you don't know that. And he's like, you guys following my steps, and you guys can't do it. You end up in a dead road. I was like, wow, I never heard no sample producer say that.
Yeah, because you see, sampling, there's two things here. When you're sampling and you're getting it cleared, you've got the publisher and you've got the artist that created it or the producer that created it. The publisher can deny everything to anybody, can say, you're not going to use that sample, and no one can use it, regardless if the artist says they can. If the artist says they can, the producer will look more favorably towards that sample being used. So what you've got to remember is a publisher will always want to make money, okay? So they're like a record company, but what they do is they sell your song idea, not the recorded works, but the song idea. And what they want to do, they want to get that song idea in as many albums, as many songs, as much radio play as they possibly can, because they get royalties for that, okay? So if somebody comes along and says, I want to sample that and I want to use it, the publisher will go, yeah, okay, fine. We'll just clear that with the artist. We'll, out of courtesy, we'll ask the artist if it's okay. And 9 times out of 10, the artist will say, yeah, it's fine. But they can kick back and say, no, we don't want them to use it. But the publisher can turn around and say, well, yeah, in fact, you're going to allow it. And obviously it helps if you're a producer and you're sampling to please both sides of the coin. So if you know the artist, it's going to be a lot easier to get a sample cleared because they can put weight onto a publisher to say, yeah, clear it, it's okay, I'm cool with that, than it is just to please the publisher, because the artist might turn around and say, no, I don't want that. And the publisher might go, well, yeah, okay, you're worth millions, so I'm going to, stick with you. So, yeah, there's always touch and go about who can use a sample and who can't. But in it, your case or the guy's case that you're talking about, he's obviously in a much favorable position because he's a nice guy to the artist and a nice guy to the publisher. So of course he pays up.
Yeah. Ninth, he could do it. He got the money to pay for it. At least he got the money to pay for it.
Yeah. Remember, at the end of the day, it's called taking care of your shit, you know, taking care of business. Yep. So if you pay loads of money for a sample to use it, then you will be able to use it. Yeah. But yeah, it's a sticky road. Is sampling causes you've got to really now be 100% sure that you are going to get a hit from that. Otherwise, you're spending thousands of dollars on, you know, nothing. So that's why you tend to see only the really big producers getting away with sampling stuff. If you hear something on the radio that's been sampled, you know, the chances are that it's been cleared because no one can afford lawsuits these days for uncleared samples. It's just not worth it. It can just break your career totally. So no one's taking, you know, those chances anymore. But here's one. Talking about sampling and talking about records and MP3s and things like that. Heard through the grapevine the other day, somebody confirmed what I assume is inevitable anyway, that apparently Apple is considering stopping iTunes and just concentrating on its Apple streaming service. So in about, you know, 4 or 5 years down the line, there's going to be no more iTunes and it's just going to be streaming services. So you won't actually be able to purchase MP3s or anything like that online. You'll just have to pay a subscription and just stream your music.
I don't like that. I don't like that, but hey, it ain't up to me. But I don't like that whole idea of taking away the hard copies of music, slowly or fastly, however they're doing it. I don't think that's a good idea. I think Jay-Z little title thing, I don't know how much success he's had with it, but I think that was a bad thing as far as for the consumer is concerned, because it's a lot of consumers that are left out in those little loops because you are subscribed to iTunes or, you know what I'm saying, this other service. But if you're not, you know what I'm saying, you're not able to get the Beyonce CD or whatever. It's like, what the fuck is the point of that? Like, I don't get it. I don't listen to Beyonce neither, but I thought that was weird that I couldn't hear Beyonce or Kanye West without going to pay some extra money on top of the CDs that I buy or the music I buy online. I got to pay some extra money to go and listen to Beyonce or Drake or whoever. Like, what the fuck?
Yeah. I guess the advantage of that is that obviously it's a space-wise issue in terms of hard drive, in terms of physical space like CDs, vinyl, and that kind of thing. So in a way, that's a good thing. Secondly, if you lose the physical copy, then it's there all the time online, so you can always hear it. It's not like, oh, I had a CD once by, you know, Aphex Twin, and then I can't find it, and it's really rare, and it's worth loads of money. I've lost it, and I can't, you know, I might have lost it in a move or something. Well, no. It's going to be there online for you to hear it. The negative side, I guess, is that you don't physically own that copy. And like I've said, okay, you might lose it, and it takes up physical space. But the point is that you can then resell that copy and get some of the money back, recoup some of the money that you had from actually buying that CD. So just the streaming services in that respect, you know, there's a lot of argument. One of the things that's not great for a small independent artist is that already with things like Spotify and various other downloadable or streamable services where small independent artists aren't making enough money from the amount of money that they receive from these streamable services like Spotify. You know, you hear these stories.
YouTube, all of them, they're all taking a little portion off at the top. You know,
yeah, but it's not a little portion, it's quite a lot because the amount of money, well, look at YouTube. We get paid, say, 0.01 cents every time someone clicks on an advert. So to make a few dollars, you're talking a few thousand hits or tens of thousands of hits, clicks on an advert before you make anything. Imagine that to an independent artist, someone that's virtually unknown is probably, in all seriousness, cutting through all this PR bullshit, all this managerial, I'm going to buy loads of albums so these artists go to the top of the charts, get radio play, etc., etc. If you look at the amount of quantity that they actually sell, you're probably only talking in the hundreds. You're not talking in the thousands. You're talking in the hundreds, okay, of real download purchases by real fans until they reach a certain level, which is already in major artist territory. But any independent artist, it's going to cut majorly into any CD sales that they would have. So, for example, if I have one tune as an independent artist and I get 100 people to download that, say $1 each, that would, in all theory, forget the cuts that come out, so that's $100, okay? Now, for me to make that same amount of money from streamable from streamable content from my song, I would need tens of thousands of people to download that song to make the same amount of money.
That's
which
crazy.
just seems kind of backwards, really. So I think it's going to be really interesting over the next few years how they're going to balance that for the artist, because that is a surefire way to kill, you know, the golden goose, which is basically just starve it to death. You know, if artists aren't going to be making money, making music, then no one's going to be making music, and it's going to be the end of music.
And it ain't going to be quality music anymore.
Probably a bit drastic, but
more trash music coming in.
Yeah, exactly. It's going to be the same people at the top all the time, and the market is going to shrink and shrink. So I'm very interested in seeing how these streaming services are going to affect grassroots level producers, grassroots level artists and stuff. Because although we've got this World Wide Web and social media, you would think, oh yeah, it's made the world larger. I've got a larger audience. You know, more people are going to hear the music. Well, actually, on the contrary, it's making the world smaller, because every competitor that you have also has access to that particular market, and they're all throwing stuff at that market, and it's what in marketing terms is called noise. So there is so much noise out there at the moment. How are you going to stand out from everybody else? And the streaming services are going to be the same.
It's like the football running back when he coming through the middle of the hole. You got to get through that defense. It's like a defense that they pretty much. I mean, it makes it harder to be heard if you put more. If you flood the market, it makes it harder for each song to be heard. If you put a million songs out, it's harder to hear each song. If you got one song out or one artist out at the time, you know what I'm saying? It's easy to hear.
I suppose a great analogy to everybody out there that is not necessarily a producer or an artist. Let's take the Periscope example, okay? I've been on Periscope for about 6 months now. And when I joined 6 months ago, it was good. You could go there and you'd get an audience and you get people watching you, and what you could choose from was good content out there. People were using that specific social media platform for what it was for. It was like, yeah, good content, great. I could just click from one scope, go to the next one, watch it. Now, if I go back, the amount of trash that there is there that I cannot find anything good to watch, and the shit that comes out of that, I mean, it's ridiculous. I mean, it's Big Brother gone mad.
Well, I mean,
I'm not into Big Brother at all. I hate watching that stuff on TV, these reality TV program things. But Periscope is that on steroids. People just sat down just watching TV with a Periscope on, just not saying anything, just watching TV, and people going to watch that kind of stuff.
Well, yeah.
It's just narcissism gone mad.
It's definitely changed.
Initially, on was it Scream TV Scream? What is that? 8 TV? Hold on. What is it? Scream something. It's Scream. It's another streaming service. It's Scream 8 Scream or Scream TV.
I don't know. There's Twitch. There's loads of them. Snapchat's another one.
Yeah, Snapchat. I mean, I never get ready to get the following down on that thing. Like Snapchat is a little, I don't know. It's kind of complicated getting the following or whatever going, and I don't like like that. That one is like I said, it's more complicated. Periscope, it did take a huge downfall. I remember when we was asking more producers and more artists to come on and do music, And then all of a sudden, I saw 50,000 freestyle scopes. Everybody was rapping freestyle.
Yeah,
and
exactly.
I'm your comments. And I saw the other day a gay guy was on there. I don't know how I found this scope, but it was a gay guy. And I mean, he was super gay. And I'm like, I was listening, and I could hear he was gay with his vocal, like the way he was talking. I'm like, okay, whatever. So, yeah, listen, so check it out.
The way it was, hey, man, you sound gay.
Yeah.
I laugh at that.
Talking like a woman, talking feminine, talking like with a feminine voice, right?
Yeah.
And I was listening, and I'm like, whatever. I was about to leave this scope, and he's like, it's gonna be lit later on. You should come in this scope later. And I was like, oh, word, it's gonna be lit. So I'm like, all right, whatever. So I see the scope again. And I go back in there. This gay guy is in there. He got a fucking skull mask on, AK-47, 4.5s, all type of guns. And he's just in there. And they're like, everybody's coming. The police are going to come to your house. And he's like, oh, fuck you. I'll kill you. I'll kill the police. They come over here. You see these guns. And I'm like, what happened to Periscope?
Yeah, it's mad. It's mad. Yeah, but yeah, it's definitely.
What about the lonely, mentally disturbed girls showing their ass and titties?
Oh my gosh, I don't even know how we got to that point in the world.
The sex bots.
No, you know what's even worse? I don't know if they're bots. You said bots, right? They might be bots.
Yeah, bots,
but like when they come on, they don't never scope. It's a bunch of females out there. They don't scope. They'll just come in and follow you, or maybe they'll do a like 10-second scope and they'll say, "Oh, I'm going private in a few minutes. Follow me." And I'm like, I'm not following you. Shut up. Why would I follow you? Like, go private now.
I see Sip's been clicking those links, hasn't he?
No, I really haven't. I just
no.
They really they was following me. I have a lot of followers. Go to my followers. Some of them, I swear to God, there's like those chicks, and they're like, follow me back. I'm going private in a minute, and I don't follow them back. I'm just like, whatever. That's another follower for me. And keep going.
No, I just block it. Yeah.
Them bitches never go private.
Yeah, I mean, it's entrepreneurship, isn't it? It's, everybody's out to make a buck. And it seems everything is like that. That's what I'm saying. The world is smaller.
I seen it on Twitter. They was doing that, and what they did, they would do all of these they steal naked pictures offline and shit like that, pornos and stuff, and they post them, get a lot of followers, and then they sell them to a local artist somewhere. They sell the whole page.
Yeah, of course.
Hey, I got so many followers on this page, you can have it.
Tell the account,
content. And it's like spam, though.
That's right. Yeah.
Like if I was looking at pink titties, I want to see pink titties, motherfucker. I don't want to hear your song on the pink titties page.
Mad.
Even some of these titles, some of the titles they title their periscopes. Oh God.
Spam. Straight out spam.
It's just ridiculous.
I actually follow one guy, and he's one of the worst at it. I mean, he's good. He's getting a lot of followers doing it, but he like posts these controversial statements. He'll post a controversial statement like Trump or Bernie or some shit like that. But he's selling his music on the back end of doing that. He's sitting there talking about Trump and Bernie, and then in the middle of the scope, he'll say, "Don't forget to go to iTunes and download my song." You know what I'm saying? And share this. And I'm like, oh, that's dope the way he's doing it, but I hate the content he's talking about.
Yeah, Solu has that extra trick that no one's heard or seen before these days. Yeah, competitive. Yeah, you have to do it. It really is dog eat dog out there, and there's a lot of big dogs at the moment. You know, so yeah, it sounds all doom and gloom, but it's not. It's quite an exciting time because that means that people are going to have to start to get extra creative or super creative with what they're doing for the music to stand out. And I'm really interested to see if it's true of, if your music is great, then, people will find you. I'm really interested to see if that is still true.
I don't think that's true at this day and age. It's not. I can tell you for a fact it's not. You got to have some kind of marketing involved in it and some kind of a plan together to get your music heard.
I still believe that because I believe like this, man. If you can draw and I don't give a fuck how bad you are when you begin. If you draw for 20 years and you become a great ass artist, I will find your ass and get a tattoo. If you're a great roofer and you can fix roofs better than anybody else in this world, and I need my roof fixed, I'm gonna look you up. I'm gonna do the research to find the best person available. And that's me. That's me. But I mean, there's some people out there that are broke. Sometimes when you're broke, you ain't gonna go for the best. You're just gonna go for the cheap.
That being said, there's got to be some way for you to be found. You know, you got to set a platform for yourself, and you got to somehow build it up. You know, you got to build that momentum to be number one. You know, you can't just say, "Hey, I'm number one. Look me up in the yellow pages." That's not going to roll.
Because they don't know what to look for. Absolutely. Yeah.
So either way you look at it, you got to have some kind of plan. You know, that's what IFSS is. You know, we build a platform here for us.
That's right. Exactly. I mean, you look at the amount of money that record companies shove behind albums and promote them. You know? Probably not even a quarter of it goes on to the actual development of the artist or the development of the music. It's all pummeled into PR and marketing and stuff. It's the only way that they can do it. So who shouts the loudest? And that's why I was saying I'm very interested to see how it's going to pan out over the next few years of how well streaming services do.
Mm-hmm.
Because it really is going to see if it's going to level the playing field or if it's really just splitting it completely. So you've got people at the top that can afford it, will always be there, and the ones at the bottom will never get lucky. Does that mean that we're going to have a two-tier system for music? We're going to have shit at the top and great stuff at the bottom, or vice versa?
I believe the bottom runs the top in a certain sense. I know that overall, the top sets the laws and regulations and what comes out, but somebody can reach the bottom people. It doesn't have to be a rich person. If you can reach the bottom people, the top doesn't even matter. That's how I feel. If you can really connect to them like Tupac did, a lot of artists out there that was really able to connect to the bottom people, they were able to change the game as far as music is concerned. And that's what I think as far as like talent is concerned. Because I know there's some talented people out there that I like musically, but it's hard for me to convince the next person, hey, this guy right here is great and he's better than that guy you're listening to. You should listen to this guy. It's like, I'm wasting my time saying that, you know what I'm saying? And that's where I think music has changed because people have started to understand, yo, I'm wasting my time. If DJ Airwax is from Canada and he likes Drake, and I'm talking about, well, listen to this guy over here from America, and it's like, yo, that ain't gonna get it because he listens to fucking Drake. That's it, you know? Like, I got people back home.
I don't listen to Drake.
No. I just said that because you from Canada.
I like Drake, but I don't listen to Drake. Okay.
Yo, you can't. Okay. Yo, Drake is.
I'm just gonna sit here with my clothes off, guys. Oh, man.
So, just, you know, to come back about that, I mean, if we look, we've mentioned it before in the past, but if we look back in history, it's always been social movements that have changed music. You know, whether it's from blues with slavery and jazz and that kind of thing, all the way through the soul movement, the punk movement, that kind of thing. But if music is, if the minority, or not really minority, but the majority or the lower, what we call working class, if they're the ones that have actually dictated what music should be, do you think the record companies, which are the guys on top, the big fat cats, do you think they are emulating the poor or the working class, or do you think they're dictating what the working class should listen to?
I think they're, I think pretty much at this point, I think it's the reflection of the mirror. Like you're staring at a mirror reflection of what society really is. When I listen to hip hop, I listen to blues, I listen to country music, I hear what's really going on in the world. I can see it going on, and I say, at this point, they're manipulating society by continuing that path. But I say that it's just what's on the average, what they think is on the average lower person's mind. And from their perspective of it, when you got me, I'm just a regular person right now, but then you give me $1 million. Put $1 million in my pocket, and I become a whole nother person. I'm buying different shit, and I had some relatability to all of these people. But now that I got this money, I don't give a fuck about going to go talk to what's her name down the street on Main Street. You know what I'm saying? Like, it just doesn't matter no more. And I start talking about different content. And I think that's what happens as far as hip hop is concerned. No matter who it is, they've always gotten jacked over in hip hop, so to say.
Yeah. All right. Okay. So you're saying basically people forget where they say they don't forget the roots, but they really do forget the roots, and they move on, and they think that. Yeah.
That's exactly what I'm saying. They forget their roots and they disconnect with those roots because of money. I know this. I had a time in my life when I was 17 and I got what $500,000 put in my hand. When I got $500,000 put in my hand, I was no longer 17. I was a $500,000 heir or whatever the fuck that is. Like I had $500,000. My friends switched, stopped calling a couple of people I ain't really fuck with. You know what I'm saying? And then like if you got this higher person there that's management, controlling your image, controlling your output, or what you begin to say, this person put $500,000 in my pocket. Maybe they know what they're talking about. I can do what they're saying do, and it's gonna make me more money. You're being like, it ain't selfish. I don't know what to call that, but it's like you're being like conscientious of your future, like trying to secure your money for your future and not saying, yo, I want to help society anymore. It's like, what is society gonna do? I got this money from these people. I'm gonna get this money from these people continuously, and I hear that in music.
Yeah, I understand. Yeah, interesting. This is gonna be good. Yeah, I don't see anyone on the forums. Unfortunately, no one's asking us any questions.
Yeah.
We got they probably pick up on this.
I guess we've answered them all.
We get more people throughout the evenings than rather the afternoon.
Yeah, well, of course, everyone's at work. Yeah, they haven't tuned in yet. That's right.
So we are starting to get a lot of views and subscribers are going up, guys. So we must be doing something, right?
Yeah. Oh, we're talking real stuff. This is what happens in reality. No fancy bullshit of, oh, no, it doesn't happen. Of course it happens. It's there. We're telling you it's real. If you don't like it, well, go suck an egg, It's basically, that's what it is. And there's no point, I'm probably going to go off on a rant here now, but there's nothing worse to me than when something is unequivocally not true and it happens a certain way, and then you get somebody telling you it doesn't.
Oh, yeah.
Flat out prove that it does.
I hate that shit.
That really annoys me. Yeah.
Oh, man.
But that is typical sales kind of thing. Oh, no, there's no recession. Everything's all right. Politicians typically, oh, no, it's not like that. It's like this and so on and so on. And you know very well that it isn't. But what we tell you on here is how it is, and it is what it is. So, yeah. There's no pretentiousness here. Certainly from me anyway.
Like, honestly, from the time we started IFSSS, we've been doing about 2 video documents a week, some weeks. And from start to now, you can learn how to do what we're doing for yourself and start your own group. We're not hiding the information of what we're doing.
No, it's there from day one. You can see it. All the mistakes.
I look at it kind of similar to what the problem was a second ago. Meek was talking about like the future problems between streaming music and what is it, like the regular way we get music now. And like if we got a lot of groups like this like out there, you begin to get force. You begin to get more power, and then the small people are no longer just small people. They're an entity as well, and you have to respect the entity. You have to respect that. In the corporation.
Yeah, you give a voice. Yeah. Yeah, definitely. People speak through us, or people speak for themselves, but we speak as a unit. Yeah, definitely. But it'll be really interesting to see how other groups like ours, if there are other groups like ours.
Well, they're coming. I've seen some Facebook posts, man, talking about these groups that are coming. I ain't gonna say no names.
I've seen groups expanding because of what we're doing.
Salute.
Yeah, well, that doesn't surprise me. It's a natural thing. You know, let them expand. It's good. It can only be a good thing. We should all pull together, and it would make it be a super duper group then.
Yeah.
You know, that would be a really great thing for music in general. But for myself, I'm in it for the music and for what it's worth, you know, and I love it. And it's, you know, my vocation. Same as you guys.
Music.
So, you know, if we make money on the way,
just
great,
like
you know,
music. You remember that sample?
So,
I remember the
just like music. That sample. Woo.
Yeah, but that's it.
Okay.
You know, it's what it is. But yeah, it all makes it worthwhile anyway. I'm glad that, you know, followers are beginning to come, because it keeps me going anyway. Whenever there's somebody out there and either love me or hate me, or lovers or haters, it's good. You know, it gives us a sense and a purpose to go on. And the thing is, we'll never stop going. So
yeah.
I think I want to say this.
It's great.
In a minute, a lot of people are going to pick up on
the whole reason for doing these blogs.
Behind searches, when you searching in the future, they're gonna pick up on them videos. I feel like it's gonna be like a boom in a minute when we get these videos, like, because we got a pretty good amount up there with a lot of content. If you go through it, I mean, literally by the Beat Machine, it ain't some information. If you go look at our infamous Foreign Sound Society YouTube, if you're looking at information about a Beat Machine, it's up there. I'm pretty sure. And if it's not up there yet, it's coming up there. So if you're one of those people that's looking into getting in production, in the music, into something like that, definitely check out these videos. It gives a lot of content, a lot of good information about these different types of beat machines and controllers.
That's right. And all the videos that make up those videos as well, so people can dig. Absolutely. All the links are up there and everything. So you can either find it through my site or through the IFSS YouTube page or the sites of the other guys that are going to come out. Sip, your site must be nearly done at some point soon.
My site is pretty much done. I just got to get the money on my card, the $9.99 on my card, and then the $50. That's another thing. But yeah, I just got to get the money.
And Wax, yours will be almost ready now as well. Yes.
About 2 more weeks.
Yeah, that's good.
So, but good news is that. Good news, we can watch the IFS website.
We'll be going live soon.
Yeah.
Pretty soon.
Well, that's going to be live at any point in time, isn't it? You just need to press the button and that's it.
Yep.
So, yeah, that'll be coming out at some point this week. All right, guys. Well, next time we have a hangout is going to be when? Sunday.
Yes, that's last part of the Beat Machine. Part 5.
Definitely.
Yeah.
I did not know there was going to be that many parts. But yeah, part 5.
Yeah, it's going to be a good one. It's going to be good.
So yeah, we'll see you guys on Thursday's meeting.
Yeah, I'll see you Thursday.
That's tomorrow.
All right, guys. Speak to you later.
All right, we out. IFSS.